Today I'm going to talk a little bit about how my change here affected me as a person and my view on the world.
First of all, the main thing that I have been focusing on the last days is that I feel like I just started to notice the details. I just started to appreciate the little things. It can be whatever. It can be a smile. It can be a happy moment that I leave at 8 a.m. and it just makes my day for the rest of the day. I mean, I noticed this when I was in Germany, especially at first when everything is still hard and you're just kind of like getting used to your new life there. And I just feel like really every single little thing can change your mood. Or at least that was what I expected, like that's what I experienced. I noticed that in a day where my mood was really horrible, where I just wanted to stay home in bed and just escape from the world around me, the little thing that was gonna make me smile was really gonna make my day. And that is something new to me. I mean, in Italy, I used to, I don't know, kind of ignore details. I was kind of like just, living my life, not really paying attention to the little things that were making my day special. And in Germany, that really changed because if I was sad and then, I don't know, a random person was coming to me and they were like, oh my God, you're an exchange student, you're so cool. I don't know, your German is so good, or I don't know, you're improving so much, or can we hang out sometimes? The little thing that in Italy I would have ignored was just gonna make my day. And that is something that I love about myself right now. The fact that I'm starting to appreciate really the little moments that made my exchange year perfect, with all the problems that I had to deal with all the imperfections that have to be there. I mean, it is normal. Like embracing the little things and appreciating them will make your experience. And I feel like that is something that changed me as a person.
I've also become so much more independent. I know now what I am capable of and what I can do, and I've learned to take care of myself. Even though I obviously lived in a host family because I was a minor when I went, it's still like you live with strangers. You're a lot on your own and you have to do a lot of things by yourself. I had to sign up for everything at school by myself. Obviously my host family helped me with this, but I had to take the initiative because I had to find what I wanted to do. It was not just all like laid out for me. I had to find what I wanted to do and I had to ask for help on how to join it. But it's a lot about taking initiative and doing stuff that you're not used to, and you have to find new ways through things because there's going to be obstacles that you're going to have to get past. And obviously you have your friends and you have your family, but they can't do a whole lot because you only have yourself in the end.
I also thought it was super cool to be able to just truly feel what a taste of adulthood was like. I was so used to having my parents fixing things for me and just always knowing how the system works, not questioning things. But as soon as I arrived in America, everything was new. Like, I couldn't even take for granted how to open the door because the knobs were different. So having to learn this on my own and having to take care of my own schedule, like taking care of my own conflicts, making my own friends, all of that made me feel like proud of myself, I would say, to be able to physically see that I'm able to accomplish all these things on my own. And even though it has been nice and useful to rely on other people, I know for a fact right now that I can do anything I want as long as I just push outside of my comfort zone and actually take care of it myself. And a lot of things that I thought were really hard, such as like, talking back at teachers that you didn't like, or changing your schedule, doing all those like slightly scary things, when you actually do them, you realize that it's not that bad. And that realization is so useful to have in anything for the rest of my life. Like, I don't see things as scary anymore. When I came back to Sweden, I was going to start a new class and I had a room full of new people. And in my brain, I thought, I walked into school of 2,500 strangers from a country I wasn't from, in a language that I barely, I'm not fluent in. And I had the best time of my life. Walking into this classroom of 30 Swedish people is gonna be easy. And just knowing that made the whole experience so much more enjoyable. And I gained such a healthy confidence that I overall just think made me a better and more independent person, I would say. And for some people, I think jumping into adulthood can be a huge step. But in my case, or I think in every exchange student's case, becoming an exchange student can be this little taste of what it's like to not live with your parents, to take care of yourself, and I therefore think we will be more prepared to tackle those things in the future.
Patience. I have never been like such a patient person, honestly. I kind of like want to see results immediately when I start a new thing. And I mean, during an exchange year, you really understand that time heals. I mean, you really have to be patient to wait. It is not gonna, like, it's not that in 2 weeks in your host country, you're gonna have the perfect life, you're gonna have 100 friends, you're gonna speak fluently the language that you're learning. It doesn't work like this. Like, it is probably the first time in your life that you're just left to yourself. Like, your family is abroad. You are there to yourself. You are kind of like living life for the first time to the fullest, and I'm serious about it. So you just kind of like understand, if that makes sense, that time, like it takes time to achieve things, or at least this was what I experienced, what I learned in Germany. I had to wait months before realizing that I could understand what the people were saying when they were speaking German. It took months for me to, I don't know, to just answer to a question in class, because I mean, I wasn't confident enough to do it. Maybe I was understanding what the question was about, but I was too scared. I just needed to be patient. Time made me improve a lot. It made me more confident. That is for sure a thing. I like my confidence, like, I don't know, I got such a confident boost from my exchange year, if that makes sense. I was like so proud of myself in the little things that I was achieving, in my little goals. I don't know, understanding a full conversation, understanding a lesson, answering a question, talking to a new person, all the little things that initially would be just like everyday life were so important to me to achieve. And I was always so proud of myself, and I was so confident. So yeah, that changed for sure. And I also gained more patience, which is always good in life, because you're always gonna need to be patient.
I also feel like I have a new understanding of what life could offer. I'm not only just stuck now in my little bubble in my home country of everyone doing everything the exact same way and, you know, how one culture works, but I know that there are different options out in the world. Like, I can move somewhere and start a whole new life if I wanted to. You're never just stuck in one place, and that was really cool to experience.
To just become a stranger. When I walked into American high school for the first time and I realized that no one knows me, no one knows who I am, it was scary, but it was also such a freeing experience at the same time, because it truly made me realize how much we depend on our past to represent who we are in the current moment. So much of who I thought I was the identities that I had shaped or brought with me from previous experiences. But when I arrived in America, it was completely up to me to decide who I want to be and how I want other people to perceive me. So I chose, and I decided at that time, to walk into the room and really give some thought into who I want to be perceived as. And I wanted to be a very social, outgoing, loving, and carefree person. When, you know, in comparison to who I would have been in Sweden, I was a little more reserved, and I often overthought things, and I wanted to get rid of that. So when I walked into America, like the American high school for the first time, I just let go of all those expectations on me and who I was, and it was such a relief, a scary but so useful relief. So when I got back to Sweden and I could carry that lesson with me, that I am literally the creator of who I want other people to perceive me as, and my identity, it changed so many of the things that previously held me back, such as, I'm bad at doing this, I'm a shy person, I'm not good at soccer, I'm not... All those things that you keep telling yourself every single day of who you cannot and can be, they hold you back immensely in a way that you don't realize until you are forced to walk out of that comfort. And I think every single person needs to go through an experience like that, when they realize that every single day that you wake up, you can become a new version of yourself.
I've also learned how different people act in different cultures. It's now easier for me to understand why someone acts a certain way when they're from a different culture than I am, because I now have an understanding about how different cultures work. Like, even though I used to travel a lot before and Obviously, in the West world, we're used to different cultures, but when you actually live in one and you've lived in two such different culture and really experience them to the fullest, it's so much easier to just have an understanding, like so much deeper, of other people than what you've had before.
Lastly, I also think it just created a new little fire in my heart about traveling and exploring the world. I think so many of us are stuck in our everyday lives, and this is the way it should be. You're born in this country, I'm obviously gonna live in this country. But going to America and seeing that there are teenagers here too. People have their own lives and they're equally as happy as I am. It just made me realize that I don't have to put limits onto myself, that I need to do everything the same way everyone else does. I can study wherever I want to study. I can meet a person from whoever, like whatever country. I don't have to follow my family's footsteps. I can decide exactly where I want to go and what I want to do with my life. And I think it just created this passion for traveling. And I mean, as soon as I quit high school or finish high school in Sweden, I'm gonna get out traveling again, because it's the one thing that makes me so happy and so fulfilled. And for now, that's enough for me. I don't have to know exactly where I'm going, but I do know that I'm gonna make the most out of every single place I'm at, and I'm never gonna limit myself. And it just made me appreciate life and the relationship with myself so much more. I can talk about this forever, but I truly think that becoming an exchange student was the best thing I could do for myself ever, and the greatest gift my parents could ever give me.
This experience changed me in a positive way for sure. I feel grown up, I feel more mature, because I had to deal with problems, with difficulties, with challenges alone.
So if you're struggling right now with whatever, just know that you are doing something that so many people wouldn't even dream of doing. You are so strong, and the future you is gonna thank you for investing in yourself in the way you have.
So yeah, you're gonna change in a whole lot of ways when you become an exchange student, but it's all been for the better for me. I have just grown and found myself much more than I did before, and it's just an amazing experience all over.
If you want to go on exchange, go to exchangestudentguide.com. If you are already on exchange, join our community on Instagram at exchange.community and check out our merch, exchange-live.com, personalized memories for your exchange, and also custom host family gifts.
That's it. Bye!